What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm not doing that. What's up, brats? Welcome to the video. This one's gonna be weird, okay? I was brainstorming ideas, and I know that a lot of my favorite YouTubers will just like go to the trending page on YouTube and look and see what's going on there and then make a video reacting to it. So I thought, hey, I'll copy them. So I went to the trending page, and number 14 on trending was a video called Everything Wrong with Forrest Gump in 16 minutes or less. How much could possibly be wrong with Forrest Gump that it requires a 16-minute video? This is from a channel called Cinema Sins, and I watched like the first 2 minutes of this, and I thought, oh, I have to do a reaction video. I know that those are played out, but I'm a sellout, so here we are. You get to watch this live and in color with me, Olivia, Kathryn.
How'd they get the feather to cooperate like that, and for so long?
Because they clearly didn't just let a feather float around. It was either CGI or tied to a string or something. It's called poetic cinema. Take an arts and culture class once in a while. It's a symbolic thing. Did you even pay attention to the movie? Oof. We are 12 seconds in.
Right, because that bus stops for barely a full second before moving on without even seeing if Forrest wants to get on. I know he's sitting there like a gump on a log, but at least do a verbal check.
He didn't get up. Is really something wrong with the movie? The bus was just passing to give motion to the image, otherwise it would have just been a stale shot slowly zooming in on Forrest Gump. They had to have movement, okay?
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
So deep, so profound, so meaningless? Seriously, as much credit as this movie gets for its notable quotables, the sentiments are so bland as to not actually mean much at all. Each quote is a bit different, but ultimately at their core contain the same syrupy, sweet, empty calories that makes you feel good for a moment, but do nothing to make you stronger overall.
Yeah, that's the point. Forrest Gump has like a learning disability. We never really know what it is, but we know it's something. Yeah, he just says stuff. It's not meant to have a profound meaning. It's just like,
never know what you're gonna get.
this guy's like a literature teacher that no one likes, that reads way too much into stuff that's like not actually there. Like, the curtains are green to represent the growth of the character. No, the curtains are just green. They're just green. And life's like a box of chocolates. That's just what Forrest Gump says. That's all it is.
I bet if I think about it real hard, I could remember my first pair of shoes. She said they was my magic shoes.
So yeah, apparently, according to the movie, Forrest was about 7 years old before he ever got a pair of shoes.
This isn't insinuating that Forrest Gump never had a pair of shoes until he was 7 years old. He was 7 years old when he remembers getting a pair of shoes. I don't remember shoes I had before I was 7. I don't even remember shoes I had when I was 7. My first memory of shoes was a pair of light-up Skechers that I got when I was in 3rd grade, so 8 years old. That's my first memory of shoes. No one keeps track of that when you're a kid. You don't care. His first memory of getting shoes were the shoes connected to these huge braces that went all the way up to his thigh. Of course that's his first memory of shoes.
Now, when I was a baby, Mama named me after the great Civil War hero.
Forrest narration. Forestation?
He doxes a point just because Forrest is narrating it? So what, movies can't have narration now? That he literally never like gives a reason why. He just makes a pun using Forrest's name and is like, yep, that's a movie sin. Boom, he's narrating the movie.
He started up this club called the Ku Klux Klan.
Yes, let's address racism with a lighthearted, simple misunderstanding of a childlike adult.
The movie's not about racism. Would you rather him have spent 30 minutes going into all of the complex details of racism back in the time period that this was supposed to be filmed in, and then also the time that he's referencing where his mother got his name from? Would you have rather him spend 30 minutes on that, then come back to the story of Forrest Gump? Then you'd be like,
This movie's just trying to be political. It didn't even help move the story along. They just wanted to talk about racism.
he has a learning disability, and he's telling the story from a child's brain, so yeah, it's a childlike interpretation of it. That's the point. That's the character. God.
This movie basically points at things and says, look, that exists, and then just moves on like it did something important.
They never said they did anything important by doing that. They were just pointing out something. Oh my God.
He's gonna have to go to special school.
There must be something can be done.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son.
Prostitution.
Vacation.
What? Am I just misunderstanding the point of this account? I thought the point was like mistakes that movies make. That's not a mistake, that's a plot point. That his mom had to sleep with men in order to get her son into a good school because they couldn't afford it. That's a plot point. They shouldn't have done that? that shouldn't have been in the movie?
Vacation?
Where Daddy went.
Vacation's when you go somewhere and you don't ever come back.
Can we all just agree that the fact that Forrest didn't grow up to be a murderous psycho is a miracle?
What, because his dad left, he should have grown up to be a murderous psycho? That's horrible. That's a horrible thing to say to someone. You know, a teenager stumbles upon this video and they're like, oh, my dad left me. So, a lot like Forrest Gump. It's surprising I'm not gonna grow up to be a murderer because that's the only option for me as a dadless boy. Oh no.
Some years later, that handsome young man who they called the King had himself a heart attack or something.
Or something.
So Forrest doesn't know how Elvis died. He doesn't need to know how. I'm not even sure I know how Elvis died. I know it was like on the toilet. Wasn't it from like, was it from drugs? How did Elvis die? It literally says that Elvis died from a heart attack. Forrest was right.
Flight's taken.
This movie wants to bully so hard that this little f***er said seat's taken, even though there wasn't a seat available there. That seat already has 2 riders.
Yeah, he was just trying to bully him. He was just trying to be mean. That's what kids do.
Can't sit here.
Why do all these Alabama kids hate the new kid so much? I don't even think half of these fools even saw his leg braces. They're just bullying him by default. F***ing Alabama, man.
That's like that's part of it. Kids are mean. Kids will bully you for no reason. He's like, they didn't even see his leg braces. They're bullying him for no reason. Yeah, because kids do that. These kids probably know Forrest. He's like from the area. They probably know that he's got a mental disability. They may have seen his leg braces. I don't know. But kids will just look at a kid and decide to bully him. That's just like, kids are the worst. Of course they're bullying him for no reason. It shouldn't be a shocker to you.
Are you stupid or something?
Ladies and gentlemen, the romantic lead.
What? So now the movie introduces a romantic lead. Point against for what? For introducing the next character? Is it because she said, are you stupid or something? Because, like, kids are dumb. They don't know what to say. She's not going to be like, so, Forrest, is that your name correct? You know, I've been observing you for the 30 seconds we've been riding together on this bus. And, you know, my observations lead me to believe that perhaps you might have some trouble with your cognition and your brain function seems to indicate that perhaps you process things at a bit of a slower rate. Am I correct? I'm just curious, have you ever been to the doctor, seen if you know, do you just talk like that, or is there something going on? Are you stupid or something?
He was a very loving man. He was always kissing and touching her and her sisters.
Is it possible Forrest Gump is the most offensive movie ever made? I'm asking because I think Forrest Gump may be the most offensive movie ever made.
That's not offensive, that's just facts that things like that happen way too frequently. And Forrest, being 1, a child, and 2, mentally disabled, didn't really know how to process it, so he just is explaining it the best way he knows how. What would be offensive is if it's like encouraging that behavior. It is not at all encouraging it. It shows how much it hurts Jenny and how it freaking ruins her life.
10 years and these bullies haven't upgraded from rock throwing? Lazy bullies are lazy.
What would you rather them do? Shoot him? They have a car. They chase him down with that. Is that better for you?
Since we are entering minute 20 of this bench narration, I think it's safe to say this is basically going to play out like a book on tape from here on out. So let's just throw on 15 narration is as narration does sins and move on, shall we?
What? He gave it 15 points because it's narrated? What, so is The Princess Bride also a terrible movie?
He must be the stupidest son of a bitch alive!
Wow, this movie utterly delights in Forrest's mental capacity. Plays it for jokes and everything, even while wanting to use it for sympathy whenever necessary.
Oh my gosh. They're making jokes about his mental disability because they're ignorant people. That's the point of the movie, is to show how people treated Forrest and how they didn't understand that he was mentally disabled and how rude people can be towards people who are mentally disabled and ignorant and make fun of them.
Welcome to We've Edited Tom Hanks into all the historical events, and hey, isn't that cool, the movie.
Well, they had to. They literally had to. What were they gonna do? Just use footage that he wasn't in and be like, oh yeah, he was there? Movies are supposed to have like a suspension of disbelief. I think that was pretty cool that they were able to edit Forrest Gump into like old film clips. It makes you feel like it's that much more believable. Can you move, please? Can you find just somewhere else to... Alright, my lap is where you want to be.
So, Forrest Gump shows up at her college unannounced, sees her in a car with a boy, and decides the boy is too aggressive. And maybe the boy was. And then Forrest intervenes, which angers Jenny and scares off the boyfriend. And I have written a dozen versions of the sin about Forrest being a creepy stalker, but I'm mostly baffled that this still somehow ends up in him getting a hand job.
Okay, so earlier in the movie, if we paid attention, we know that Jenny was molested and likely raped by her father multiple times throughout her childhood. Forrest knowing something was up with that, and also not really having the capacity to fully understand it, sees Ginny getting touched by a boy aggressively and intervenes because that's what he thinks is the right thing to do. And he wasn't stalking her. He was just sitting there. If he wants to see his friend and he doesn't have like a key to the building, he'll just be like, okay, well, she'll be home soon, so I'll just chill here and wait for her. That's fine. It's totally fine. It's not like he's complete strangers with her. Like, he only ever saw her at a distance and now he's showing up at her dorm. Like, they grew up together. That's okay. And second of all, he didn't get a hand job. He got to touch her boob. Like, he was clearly uncomfortable with that. Forrest Gump isn't even my favorite movie. It doesn't even make the top 10 of my favorite movies ever. I don't hate it, but I'm just like, I mean, it's good, it's fine, it's okay. So it's not like I'm coming after this with like a righteous rage of like, no, it's my favorite movie, how dare you attack it. But this is making me want to like get Forrest Gump tattooed on my thigh because I'm like, no, I have to defend this because this is just so dumb. I don't get it.
My name's Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump.
I'm not a smart man, but I know a roll credits line when I see one. That is the most obvious W being used upside down in place of an M I have ever f***ing seen.
So freaking what if it is? How is this number 14 on trending? This Joker has 8 million subscribers. This video will reach 1 million views. This video just points out random things in the movie, like, there's a flower over there. Forrest sits on a bench for a long time. The movie's narrated. The mom does some shady stuff to get her son into school. That has nothing to do with, like, cinema. That is not a cinematic sin. That is not poor editing. That's not poor shooting. That's not even poor writing. That's actually pretty interesting writing. There's nothing wrong with the plot points that this guy is, like, 15 sins because it's narrated. Like, this kid growing up, did his parents never read him a bedtime story, so he's still bitter about it, and now he like hates watching narrated movies because it's like, no, don't tell me the story, I'll read it myself since no one ever did it for me. Dad, please come back home. How are like millions of people watching these videos and being like, oh yeah, that makes some good points right there. What other kind of videos does he have? Ooh, here we go. Everything wrong with Shrek in 13 minutes or less.
There are 2 Ks, 2 Es, and 2 Rs in this logo, but they don't get any special Shrek treatment. This logo is racist against like 80% of the qualified alphabet.
Right off the bat, just the most arbitrary point he could possibly make.
Once upon a time...
Narrating.
Okay, again, we're not allowed to narrate anything? How is that wrong? Please, someone explain to me how that's wrong. Some of the best movies of all time have been narrated.
It took only 90 seconds for this movie to get to its first joke. Also, by dramatically crumpling this page, he just made extra work for himself to make it viable toilet paper.
Yeah, that's the funny part. It's called comedy, my guy. Have you ever heard of it? Because you're not that great at it.
Also, Shrek apparently depends on books to wipe his ass.
It's meant to be a joke that he wipes his butt with fairy tales because it doesn't believe in him. Because he's an angry ogre who lives in a swamp, you idiot!
Also, the movie literally wipes his ass on fairy tales, informing us this is going to be a new, fresh, subversive take on the genre. That will need 3 sequels and a spin-off.
The first one was bomb. You can't blame the first one for the issues with the sequels. Those didn't exist. Those weren't even like a twinkle in their eye when they made this movie.
Also, why does Shrek even need an outhouse?
Because he lives in a tree! Where else is he gonna go? And you know that doesn't smell good, so the further away it is from the house, the better.
Apparently, the medieval outhouse has working plumbing with a flushing toilet.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke! Oh my god.
We can't play this song, but Smash Mouth.
Somebody once told me I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Then to the rules and I hit the ground running. So much to do, so much to say. So what's wrong with taking a backseat? You never know if you don't go. You never fly if it's so hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Only shooting stars break the mold. Well, I don't know the words, the rest of the song, but I know that it will always be a banger. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of town. Get out of town.
Also, the song All-Star, by which the word ubiquitous was nearly replaced by a Muzak version of this song in all the dictionaries of the world.
What?
I guess the fact that Shrek bathes in mud or shit or something is supposed to be like one of those Addams Family jokes where their pleasures come from awful things, but I can't figure out why a guy who likes to bathe in mud would even bother going through all this work to do it.
Because it's funny. And because the movie was made for kids, and kids find that kind of crap literally funny.
That's right, kids. There are 2 fart and poop jokes in the first 2 minutes. Are you not entertained?
Yeah, I'm entertained. It's Shrek, and it's funny, and it's made for kids. So wait a minute. So Shrek isn't allowed to make poop jokes, and fart jokes within the first 5 minutes of the movie. My point got mixed up here, so I'm gonna record it here and you just have to deal with it. Shrek can't make fart jokes, but this guy can make the worst pun I think I've ever heard, which was Forrest narrating his own movie and it's forestation. Yeah, that was the worst.
If there are several notices out for rewarding folks for finding and killing the ogre, why the hell would Shrek advertise his exact location, no matter how terrifying he thinks he is?
Because he's not scared of him, and that's a freaking power move, and we respect Shrek, alright? In this swamp, we respect our Lord and Savior Shrek.
Well, we've seen shitting, farting, and burping in the movie's first 3 minutes, and with Cameron Diaz voicing a character, I'm sure we'll see semen in the hair later.
Oh my gosh! How does this fool have 8 million subs? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense! I've only watched 2 videos from this account, so granted, my sample size isn't that large to make my thesis a fact of science, but I'm just gonna go ahead and claim right now that I hate the channel, I hate the content it produces, and I hope I never have to watch another one of those videos again. I never made it through a single one. The Forrest Gump one, what, did I make like 4 minutes in? I don't know, you'll see later when I'm editing it. And that one I made 3 minutes into? I don't know. Editing me is probably gonna kill herself before she gets a chance to post this because she's gonna have to watch those videos again to put them into this video. Editing me, if you survive, God bless you. You are the people's champion. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you hated this video because I sure hated it. Be sure to give that subscribe button a big and give this video a big ol' thumbs up if you want to see me and Cinema Sins get into a fight in an alley. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Maybe. Peace. The lyric is, you never shine if you don't glow. Taking a back seat, you never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. So, hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey, look at you, you made it to the end screen. That's further than most people. So while you're here, maybe check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. You get access to exclusive content you won't see anywhere else. Get to clicking.
I put my foot in my mouth again.